This MFL Marmac Coach Conversation brought to you by Havlicek Trucking, Meyer Auto Service, and Birdnow Chevrolet. Dan Anderson, head coach of the Bulldogs, joining us to recap the Week 1 loss to the New Hampton Chickasaws 22-19. Sounded like just a pretty darn close competitive football game the whole way. You guys just fell on the short end of the stick. Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah, it's unfortunate somebody had to lose that ball game. It's two good football teams. Both of us have a lot of respect for each other, I'm sure, after that game. We had a lot of respect for them going in. I think they had a lot of respect for us. But after the game, you could tell when the kids were shaking hands and stuff, they really meant it when they were saying nice job on both sides. New Hampton's kids and our kids and the coaches. It was just a hard-fought game. It was a hard-hitting football game. Our kids after the end, there was a lot of ice being used by both teams. Our kids need a lot of bags of ice, and I saw a lot of New Hampton kids walking out of their locker room with ice on shoulders and ribs, and walking slow. And so, hard hitting football game. It all came down to a game like that. Comes down to maybe 2 or 3 plays throughout the game, and New Hampton never had a turnover. We had a couple. Had a block. They blocked a punt. And that was probably the difference in the game, just a few plays. And otherwise, we outrushed them and we outpassed them. We had more yards of total offense than they did by 100 yards, but they didn't make any mistakes.
And when you look at scheduling a non-district opponent, seems like everything really both teams could ask for out of a non-district game, correct?
Right. We wanted to play good competition. We know it's going to make us better, and if that means we take a loss, early on in the season. I guess so be it. We don't want to lose. I don't like to lose, and neither do my kids. But we understand that, we need really tough games. It was a playoff atmosphere. I mean, the fans were awesome. Our fans, and our student section traveled well. We had a great fan base there. It was loud. It was exciting. It was back and forth. Like I said, it was good for us. We needed that. And, a game like that, you really see where you need to make some improvement. And we're working on that this week. Everything that we need to fix, we can fix. It's all fixable stuff.
And what were some of the things you need to clean up as you look ahead to week number 2?
Communication up front, on offense and defense. Special teams. We had one of our punts blocked. We had a poor snap on that, and our blocking wasn't very good. And so they blocked the kick that gave them a short field right before halftime, and they scored to take the lead at half. 14-7. It was 7-7 there with, a minute left in half. And so, special teams need to be cleaned up a little bit. We missed an extra point. And so that cost us, and we had to go for 2, and then we didn't get that. So, it came down to, a few things, in special teams, we need to clean up a little bit of stuff. We work on special teams a lot, but fix those things. The hitting was great, hard hitting. Maybe we need to wrap up a little bit better. Our pursuit was great. Our backside pursuit, in fact, we pursued so well twice in the game that McShane, they did pitch out one side, and we had everybody running. We were able to, bottle him up, and he was able to cut back across the green, and had some good runs that way. But, I think he only averaged about 4.5 yards a carry, and against a back like McShane, I was okay with that.
It was the first varsity start for Zach Driscoll at quarterback. Assess his performance.
It was awesome. I mean, the kid had a great first game. He was 9 for 12 for 118 yards. Didn't throw a poor ball all night long. I mean, if your quarterback he could be a 4-year quarterback, and if he's 75% passing, you're going to be happy with that. So, he managed the team well. So I was very pleased with his effort. I thought our backs ran extremely hard. Carver and Wyatt Powell, are 2 big, strong backs, and they were always falling forward for extra yards. New Hampton's going to win a lot of football games. It would not surprise me one bit if they would win their district and be district champions in 2A. I think it'll be between them and Osage probably, and we play Osage in 2 weeks. And so, our offensive line did a good job. New Hampton's got some big, strong guys up front, and they've got 3 really good linebackers that are, experienced returning starters from last year. So, I mean, we were still able to run the ball. Like I said, I think we ran the ball for 206 yards as a team and threw it for 118. And against a team like New Hampton, when you can go for 326 or 324 yards of total offense, I think we held them to only like 230. We did well on both sides of the ball. We just made a few key mistakes that cost us the game.
And on the defensive side of the ball, after you broke down the film, what were you happy with there? What do you need to get better at as you head to week number 2?
Things we got to work on. I'm just wrapping up. I mean, I saw some guys flying in there, and the hitting was just amazing. We had helmets popping off and shoulder pads cracking, and we had to fix some helmets where face masks were busted. We were hitting so hard. I mean, it was just a knockdown. It was a 15-round slugfest between both teams. So I was extremely happy with the hitting and the physicality of both teams. We got to wrap up a little bit better, because when you got a big, strong back like, that Braden McShane, who's about 205 pounds, 6'2", you hit him, and even if you hit him extremely hard, you better wrap him up, or he's going to fall forward and get a few more yards. So I thought our defensive backs did a really nice job in coverage. They didn't throw the ball a whole lot. They only beat us on 1 or 2 passes, and we were in good position. It's just the quarterback made a good throw and the receiver made a great catch. So we didn't really give them anything. They had to earn everything that they got. So defensively, offensively, I was pleased. You're going to make some mistakes, but they really can't fault anybody. It's just Hampton, you got to give them credit. They played really for week 1. They played pretty flawless and didn't make any mistakes, and they had to earn that win, and they earned it.
And this week back home for your home opener, you take on Clayton Ridge. What do you expect out of them?
Well, they won last Friday night, 32-12 over Postville. They're a complete, opposite of what we saw last week. Clayton Ridge likes to throw the ball, and they're going to, spread it out. We're going to see a spread team now. So last week we saw a lot of double tight ends. Sometimes they had a power eye at New Hampton. Now we're going to see, 3-by-1 sets and 2-by-2 double twins. They've got a good quarterback by the name of Kurt Ross, who's a senior. That's not very big, but he's pretty shifty. He's pretty accurate. He threw for over 200 yards and 3 touchdowns last week, and he ran for over 100 yards and 2 touchdowns last week. So, he was up for player of the week in our area, and the kids had said so. Our kids are excited to get to play against him. They've got a couple good receivers. Number 15, I think it was named Bolsinger, and there's another kid by number 35, and Millard, I believe. And those guys are great athletes. We need to know where they're at on the field. But I believe we're more physical. I think we're the bigger, stronger team. And, we've got speed on defense. I think we're going to be all right. We just, we're a little banged up for the first week playing against New Hampton. We have a lot of guys that are still pretty sore and beat up. And so we're smart about how we're handling this week of practice. We're not banging heads too hard. The kids don't have to prove anything to me or the coaching staff. We know that we're a physical team. We just got to make sure that we're in the right position. We feel like if Clayton Ridge is going to get a lot of yards, or, we don't know if they can physically pound the ball down the field on us. If they're going to beat us, they're going to beat us with big plays. They're going to beat us with, if we miss a tackle, if we have a blown coverage, if we don't do those things, we get after the quarterback, and, that's our plan. We feel like we've got a really good chance of winning this week and going 1-1.
All right, Coach, here's hoping you can do that. Here's hoping you can keep your kids healthy. Best of luck to you this week.
All right. Thanks, Darren.
This MFL Marmac Coach Conversation brought to you by the good folks at Birdnow Chevrolet, Havlicek Trucking, and Meyer Auto Service.